IFP President Velenkosini Hlabisa says there is a need to stabilise and regulate coalition governments. He says the IFP will collaborate with people who take a constructive approach and are committed to fixing local government. This as the country prepares for the upcoming 2026 municipal elections. Hlabisa was speaking at the party's 50th anniversary at the Jabulani Amphitheatre in Soweto. And for more on this, we are now joined by Prof Mngomezulu. He is a political analyst and joins us now via our video link. Prof, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Now, the IFP was marking its 50th birthday anniversary at the Soweto Amphitheatre in Jabulani. And when you look at the IFP, a long history and a very rich history when it comes to politics in South Africa, and one would say it also finds itself in the government of national unity. It is governing 50 years, of course, after being in existence. Would you say that it has a lot to celebrate?
Good evening, Sisimbali, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, indeed. For any political party to hit the 50-year mark is something worth celebrating. As things stand at the moment across the African continent, the only country that can boast of many years of existence is the African National Congress, which is the oldest party across the African continent. But then in the South African context, the IFP is one of the parties that are a force to be reckoned with. Having been established in 1975 and still surviving to this point, then of course they have all the reasons to be happy, more especially because in the past, the party was confined to KwaZulu-Natal and then, of course, with some supporters in Gauteng, which was an extension of KwaZulu-Natal, given the fact that mine workers come from KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape mainly. From the Eastern Cape, we had people joining the ANC mainly, and then from KwaZulu-Natal, we had people joining the IFP. So, but now there have been attempts to try and reach out to other provinces, which is something that is commendable. There is still a long way to go in that regard. But the fact that the party is still in existence, of course, they have all the reasons to celebrate, and we congratulate them for that.
Like any other political party, the IFP is facing its own internal battles, and also the founder passing away. Of course, one would say that looking into those internal issues and where the IFP finds itself at the moment, it's been unable to hold a conference. The term of office for this current leadership has lapsed. And at the same time, I mean, what do you say when it comes to the reasons being given by the leader of this political party, saying that they still have issues to sort out on branch level when it comes to membership, when it comes to them not being able to go to conference as yet?
Sisimbali, that is concerning indeed. Because one of the things that happened when Inkatha was formed as Inkatha Inkululeko Yesizwe, the only leader was the late Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and he had no deputy. And that continued until 2012, when Inkosi Mzamo Buthelezi became the deputy of the president of the IFP. And the assumption at the time was that when Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi retired from politics, then Inkosi Mzamo of Mbongweni will be the one to take over. But then, of course, we now know that Mr. Velenkosini Hlabisa emerged as the new leader of the party. So the problem of having a party that is built around an individual is that when that individual is no longer there, there will be some problems. We saw the same thing happening with the NFP, which was built around the late Kamakwaza Msebi. When she was incapacitated, there were leadership squabbles, despite the fact that there was a constitution of the party which was clear that if the president is not available or is unable to execute his or her duties, then the deputy should take over. Then in the case of the IFP, the same logic should apply, that there shouldn't be a leadership vacuum. So the fact that the party's leadership, in fact, its term of office ended in 2024, then one would have expected that they would have their conference this year. But then from the look of things, as you correctly pointed out, the leader of the party says that they are not ready yet, so they will only inform us once they've sorted out their internal issues. But it is a concern.
And Prof, as you mentioned, issues around the party and the leadership around the party. Should the IFP go to a conference tomorrow, do you think that the current leader, Mr. Hlabisa, will be able to retain his position?
You know, Sisimbali, there is something called sins of incumbency. If you are occupying a position, people are going to drill holes and then they will criticize you. And then if I'm an aspirant leader, I will stand a better chance because people have not seen me in action. I will promise them heaven and earth, even though once I'm in that position, then I might be worse than the leader that is in the office. So right now, the Honorable Hlabisa is in trouble for two reasons. One, he is not Buthelezi, and he will never be Buthelezi. He is just Hlabisa, and therefore people must judge him as an individual. Number two, the IFP forged the relations with the DA in KwaZulu-Natal. Not all members of the IFP were happy with that decision, but then, of course, a decision was taken. To make things worse, when parties were canvassing for the 2024 general election, they were drilling holes in the ANC and then saying that the ANC is corrupt, the ANC has failed to provide service delivery, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, both the DA and the IFP are now part of this coalition government, which they decided to call a coalition government. I mean, they decided to call it GNU, which actually is a coalition government. That in itself has caused a dent on the party because some members of the party will be saying that why did you forge relations with the ANC when we were criticizing the ANC before the election? So those are some of the issues that are likely to surface on the build up to the conference once the conference date has been announced.
And Prof, before I let you go, just want a quick word from you when it comes to the issues around local government elections and the support base for the IFP, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal. At the same time, we are facing a time and an era looking at the support base of the MK party. How well do you think the IFP will do at the upcoming local government elections, particularly when it's faced against the MK party?
Things don't augur well, Sisimbala. I'm not going to mince my words on that one. Things don't augur well, but it is up to the party to resuscitate itself. I'm not sure if time is on the IFP side. But as things stand at the moment, you have the IFP, you have the MK party contesting for the same pool of voters. Then, of course, you still have some who are supporting the EFF, although the EFF support is also almost dissipated in KwaZulu-Natal. And then you still have also the DA, which has pockets of support. So given those dynamics, the IFP will have to dig deep in order to get voters from KwaZulu-Natal. Then we have not even spoken about the other provinces. We're just speaking about KwaZulu-Natal, which has always been the stronghold of the IFP. So if they lose support in KwaZulu-Natal, then of course it means that they will suffer severely.
All right, Prof, thank you so much for your time. That's Professor Bheki Mngomezulu there, just giving us his thoughts. When it comes to the IFP celebrating 50 years of existence, also they're throwing forward to the upcoming local government elections.